Ecclesiastes says the sleep of a labouring man is sweet. In other words, when you physically move through the day, you get physical exhaustion at night and you can sleep better. So arginine vasotocin is your natural painkiller, and arginine vasotocin puts you into a deep sleep.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Barbara O'Neill, and today we're tackling one of the most underestimated yet crucial pillars of good health, sleep. Did you know that nearly half of people over 50 struggle with sleep disturbances? If you're one of them, stay with me because what I'm about to share could revolutionize the way you rest and transform your overall health. Sleep is far more than just shutting your eyes for the night. It's when your body heals, your mind resets, and your energy is restored. Yet so many lie awake, frustrated and exhausted, wondering if they'll ever experience truly rejuvenating sleep again. Here's the encouraging news. You don't need medication to take back your nights. In this video, I'll guide you through powerful natural remedies and proven strategies to help you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up with the vitality you deserve. Let's begin this journey to restful nights and brighter days ahead.
Insomnia is a huge problem today. And there are a few reasons. So we'll put our resident why here. Why? Why are people having trouble with sleep? Well, Proverbs 14, verse 6 says, knowledge is easy to him that understands. So what my aim is to give you an understanding of sleep. I want to show you what happens when you sleep. And when you understand what happens when you sleep, you begin to have a knowledge on the important times to sleep and why. There's a little tiny gland in the base of the brain, and it's called the pineal gland. And the pineal gland is about the size of maybe a macadamia nut, and it's right in the base of your brain. And the pineal gland releases 4 hormones every night, but only in certain hours. In the winter time, it's between 9 and 2. And I think your summertime ends end of October, is that right? We call it daylight saving. So in Australia, I think daylight saving's just about begun, and that when daylight saving, so at the moment you're still on summertime, yeah? So at the moment it's between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. Why only those times? It has much to do with the moons and the tides. Light and dark signals are fed through the optic nerve to a control centre in the brain where your body clock is located. And your body clock communicates with the pineal gland. And these are the hormones that are released. One is melatonin. A lot of people have heard of melatonin. Some people that don't sleep very well take melatonin. Well, we naturally release melatonin in that time, and it's called the fix and rejuvenate nighttime hormone. So it is this hormone that probably is mostly responsible for the fix and rejuvenation that's happening in our brain and our body while we sleep. Another hormone is serotonin. That's the mood hormone. So if you want to feel good, go to bed early. What are the kids like if they have a late night? Not very happy. Either are the adults. Another hormone that's released in these hours from the pineal gland is arginine vasotocin. Arginine vasotocin is our natural painkiller. Did you know you have a natural painkiller? When you go to bed in these hours, your natural painkiller is released. But your natural painkiller, when it's used, it leaves a waste. And if that waste hasn't been released, then the next night, arginine vasotocin won't be released. So how do we get rid of the waste from using our arginine vasotocin? That's exercise. When you exercise in the day, as you perspire, you are letting go of the waste. And that's why exercise is so important to be able to increase your ability to sleep.
Did you know that moving your body during the day can significantly improve how you sleep at night? Exercise raises your body temperature, and as it cools later, This natural cycle signals your body that it's time to rest. Exercise also reduces cortisol, the stress hormone that can block the production of melatonin, your body's natural sleep hormone. Even something as simple as a brisk walk or stretching can help you drift off faster and sleep more deeply. Plus, sweating during exercise helps eliminate waste products that, if left behind, can interfere with your sleep cycle.
The other hormone that's released is epithalamin. And epithalamin is a hormone that increases learning capacity. God designed our brain to be learning new things right up until the day we die. Many people's brains deteriorate because they stop learning new things. We should ever learn new things. I love the story of the 90-year-old man who learnt to play the piano and the 92-year-old man that graduated from law school. After hearing the lecture on renewing the mind, a 75-year-old man came up to me and he said, I recently put away my most difficult violin pieces. He said, I'm going home to get them out again. So epithalamin increases learning capacity. So to be able to understand and retain the new things that you're learning, we need to go to bed early. You ask any teacher, they can tell the children that had a late night because they just don't get it. They don't retain. Epithalamin increases learning capacity, and epithalamin slows down aging. Everyone over the age of 25 likes that one. So these are the hormones that are released in these hours every night. But more comes into the equation. And I was reading a book called Why We Sleep by Dr. Matthew Walker. And there's some fascinating research that he quotes in there. And this research was first started probably in about the 1950s. And they were doing research on rats. Because, do you know, they research on rats a lot because their digestive tract and many things are very similar to humans, and they live 2 years. So they can see what would happen to a human in, say, 80 years, what happened to a rat in 2 years. And they found that there were periods of the night where the eyes, the eyelids are closed, but the eyes are active and moving, and then there are periods of the night where the eyes were still. So they put electrodes on the brain and on the eyes, and what they found is when the eyes were active, the brain was active. But when the eyes were still, the brain was a little bit more still. Some of the researchers, even their 2-year-old children, they had all wired up while they sleep. And, you know, they had lots of volunteers come in. Sometimes they did it on themselves. And they found that across board, the same thing was happening. So what they did was they called the eye moving fast, rapid eye movement time, and the eyes moving slowly, non-rapid eye movement time. So let me show you what happens in those times. So in non-rapid eye movement time, they found that in the brain there's a courier service happening. Now all through the day, everything that happens to us is stored in our hippocampus back here. It's called the short-term storage unit. While we sleep, there's a courier service that takes all of those memories from the day up to the cortex up the top. So that's a courier service happening in non-rapid eye movement time. The other thing that's happening in non-rapid eye movement time is the cleaning system. We just mentioned that, the glymphatic system. So cleanings happen. What they found is that the brain cells seem to shrink up a bit, allowing more fluid between them, and so this cleaning system is happening. So what's cleaned up? Waste from neuronal activity, waste from the combustion of glucose and oxygen in the energy cycles in the cell, but also negative emotions, which we just discussed. And that happens after we make the decision to forgive. So when we forgive, that seems to trigger this glymphatic system to start cleaning up the waste. So these are the two things that happen in non-rapid eye movement time. In rapid eye movement time, this is where dreaming happens. No wonder the eyes are moving fast. The dreaming. Also in rapid eye movement time is a filing system. Now what Dr. Matthew Walker was amazed at in the research that he was doing, and he's an atheist, And this is what he said. He said, it's almost as if sleep has an intelligence.
During REM sleep, your brain does more than dream. It organizes your thoughts, processes emotions, and clears away the day's mental clutter. Ever wake up with a sudden solution to a problem? That's the magic of REM sleep. It connects the dots in ways your waking mind simply cannot. REM sleep also helps regulate your metabolism, strengthens your immune system, and balances your mood. Missing out on this crucial stage leaves you feeling irritable, forgetful, and emotionally drained. That's why prioritizing sleep is about so much more than feeling rested. It's about supporting every system in your body.
Now, Dr. Matthew Walker, is a professor, and he was asked to write study tips for the university. And so the study tips that he gave for the university are very interesting. Number one, he said, sleep with your windows open. Here's the pure air. In fact, these are all the things we just listed. He said, have some sunshine every day. And I discovered that sunshine was the key to recovering from jet lag. When I go out in the sun, when I get into, say, America, I find going back to Australia is not as bad because I think I'm going with the revolution of the earth. But coming from coming from Australia to America, it's not easy. But I discovered that if I sat in the sun and I put my head up to the sun with my eyes closed and let the sun's rays go through my eyelids, and then I put my head down after about 30 seconds and open my eyes and just sit outside, then I sleep the next day. Do you remember one of the first things I said was light and dark signals are fed through the optic nerve to a control centre in the brain where your body clock is located. And the body clock communicates with the pineal gland. So sunshine in the day helps us to sleep better at night because it resets that body clock. It's called your circadian rhythm. You've heard of the circadian rhythm? It is reset by sun's rays going through the eyes. Now, I never suggest we look at the sun. Our eyes will tell us not to do that. You could look at it today though, couldn't you? It was a funny hazy ball behind the clouds. But those sun's rays help to reset the circadian rhythm. Dr. Neil Nedley, he found that up to 80% of his depressed people, their circadian rhythm was out. He also found that a lot of his depressed people were going to bed very late. And they were watching movies or playing games or on computer till late. So a couple of things were happening there. Number one, they were missing out on the rest and rejuvenation that God planned us to get every night, but they were missing out on the early morning sun. He says that first hour of light in the day, it resets your circadian rhythm. So sunshine's important. Now remember, Dr. Matthew Walker, he's writing this article for better study habits. Temperance. He was very strong on the dangers of caffeine and refined sugar, and how many students are sipping coffee late at night till midnight trying to get their study in. But what Matthew Walker found, they retain almost half as much as the people that stop the stimulants and go to bed early. That's a big difference, huge difference. So your stimulants. We'll put a big no there, no stimulants. And of course 4, this is 8 hours sleep a night. 8 hours, not negotiable.
To reset your internal clock, step outside and soak up some morning sunlight. Natural light suppresses melatonin during the day, giving you energy and setting the stage for its release when night falls. Fresh air also plays a vital role. Sleeping with your windows open, if possible, ensures better airflow, reduces grogginess, and promotes a deeper, more restorative sleep. Caffeine and sugar might be tempting pick-me-ups, but they're your sleep's worst enemies. Even that afternoon cup of coffee can linger in your system and interfere with the deep sleep stages where real recovery happens. Stick to herbal teas like chamomile in the evening. They're soothing and help signal your body that it's time to wind down.
What about taking melatonin? There are some things that you can take that help with sleep, and one is melatonin. Dr. Neil Nedley, in his book Proof Positive, he mentions melatonin, but he also mentions that it hasn't been around long enough to know what the side effects are. Hasn't been around long enough to know if you take melatonin every night, does that mean your body stops making its own melatonin? But it can help with some people, and maybe it can be like a halfway stop when someone's coming off sleeping tablets, that they might try that. One lady said that Valerian made a huge difference for her son. And because it is not a very pleasant tea, I think that's an E. Because it's not a very pleasant tea, taking it in capsule form or in tablet form can be an easy way to do it. But you see, it's a mild sedative, it's a mild tranquilizer. And her teenage son, and when I investigated as to the teenage son, he was on technology till midnight every night. So when you're watching this technology and then turn it off and go to sleep, can you sleep? No, that's why you've got to start winding down. Have soft lights, and ideally, if you're going to watch anything of an evening, make it on the television. It's the close-up screens that are the worst. See, the sunshine has blue light, and on our retina we've got receptor sites for blue light, and that blue light helps to function. Helps our brain function, also helps with, of course, the resetting the body clock. And devices have blue light, but it's not the same frequency as the sunlight. But it's similar enough so that if you look at your phone in the middle of the night, that blue light gives a message to the brain that says, wake up, daytime. So the worst thing you can do if you can't sleep is look at your phone. So get the phone out of the bedroom. Because I live in Australia, so Australia right now is probably about, trying to think what time it would be, I don't know, about the middle of the day, I think, in Australia now. Just guessing, I'm not quite sure. Australia wakes up probably our 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So because I live in Australia and I've got WhatsApp and all my family's on WhatsApp, I put my phone on silent every night, otherwise in the other room I hear bing, bing, bing. And of course, when you hear bing, what do we want to do? We want to go and have a look. So put it on silent and charge them in the next room.
For those seeking a gentle, natural approach, remedies like valerian root, magnesium and chamomile tea can work wonders. Magnesium in particular supports muscle relaxation and nervous system regulation, helping your body ease into sleep. Foods like leafy greens, nuts and whole grains are excellent sources to incorporate into your diet. Your bedroom should be your haven for rest. Keep it cool, dark and quiet. Blackout curtains, white noise machines, or even a simple eye mask can make a world of difference. Establishing a bedtime routine, gentle stretches, reading or deep breathing exercises can also signal to your body that it's time to relax. One of the best things you can do is go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Consistency trains your body to follow its natural rhythms, making it easier to fall asleep and wake up feeling refreshed. Thank you for joining me today as we explored these natural, effective ways to improve your sleep. Remember, sleep isn't just about getting through the night. It's about giving your body and mind the care they need to thrive. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more insights into natural health. Sweet dreams, and I'll see you next time.